In your discussion of the global contracts, you were using mostly examples of governments, non-governmental organizations. There weren't that many of non-governmental organizations, and when they were more on the not-for-profit side. Do you have any examples of for-profit organizations getting together and making similar contracts? For example, corporations getting together and agreeing within an industry or across industries that perhaps they would try to reduce their carbon footprint by X amount.
Yes, that's a good. I'm glad you asked that question because I forgot to mention share our propaganda, which is this is an example where we have this, and you can get this online. This is a Knowledge at Wharton special edition that just came out this month, and it's called Green Evolution: Managing the Risks and Reaping the Benefits. And 10 major companies are helping to support our initiative to do this, and you'll see in this report, it's also available in Chinese. So there's a Chinese version for those of you who don't know and spread the word of Knowledge at Wharton as well, and it's also translated there. And it indicates, I think, a lot of examples of businesses doing exactly what you're talking about. There are a couple of interesting developments there. One is that many businesses are working with some NGOs to try to affect policy in a way that is more there's more pro-regulatory than many businesses had been in the past. Now, there's been a little bit of faltering on that for economic reasons recently, but that's one area. Another one is that many NGOs are now seeing the main place that they can have an influence partnering with businesses on climate change, but also other kinds of environmental issues. So there really is a lot of action going on there. And then this carbon disclosure project that I zipped through very quickly is another example where all these companies are agreeing to disclose their total emissions. Now, they don't come to agreements about how they're going to reduce, but you see many companies now reporting on their general emissions and getting ready for an expected regulatory response in part. But there does seem to be a lot of movement in this area among companies right now. Want to follow up? Shareholder activism
for carbon disclosure.
Yeah, the answer is yes on that, and many shareholders not only are asking for that, but ask for reports in the companies that are more broadly cabin. And so there has been movement on that. And as you may know, you don't really need a very large vote from a shareholder resolution. You don't need 50% of the vote to get the attention of boards of directors. And there is a general movement in favor of favoring more disclosure. Now, there's just one caveat on that. There's a lot of debate about how good the disclosure is and what exactly is disclosed and that sort of thing. But I think this is a trend that's gaining steam, and I think you'll see more about that. One other note on that, the US EPA recently adopted a requirement that there will be disclosure for certain companies in the United States of a certain size. So you're going to see a regulatory requirement of that in the US, and my guess is that that's going to continue. And then Jacques mentioned Walmart earlier. One other big phenomenon which is hitting suppliers in China, many businesses in China are starting to realize this issue is becoming important, is that Walmart is now demanding of its suppliers to provide information in that way. And so once you have some very large players like Walmart who are saying, we're under enough pressure now that we're going to require a reverse supply chain certification of how did you produce this, what were the environmental circumstances, as well as child labor or other issues, then that's, I think, going to start to push things forward.
One more question.
Actually, I don't have a question, but I have a good news to share with you. I think everybody, me too, of course, are worried about this climate change on the contract. And I totally agree with Professor about the difficulties for international contract. But as for climate contracts, workable. Now, I'm just thinking of, I have a 12-year-old attending a local school, and he brought me back a piece of paper, asked parents to sign a day ago. Tell me that, say, basically the information is the Shanghai experts is approaching, so advise all the parents to use less cars. for transportation, okay, and advice if there's other like subway opportunities, and so I shared that with my boy, and he said, well, Mom, I'm already carpooling, okay, so I think the child is aware, and the school, the Chinese government are doing something, and the kids are aware, and we just need to work more on this, and I will get there.
It's a perfect note to end on, because really the need here. The need here is really education, and that is increasing. If you don't, I have a 12-year-old myself, and I get the same questions, even though I'm supposedly studying this stuff. But I leave lights on. I'm told a lot too. So that's the need. Is education is a big part of the answer.
Let's thank Professor.